welcome to the woods. Or as it's a late evening one, welcome to the cabin in the middle of the woods. Now as it's evening, you'll probably be able to hear 6 dogs doing what they do best. Snoring loudly. But you're going to have to put up with that, the same as I do. Anyway, I want to have a chat about autumn, the middle season, the time of year when the day and the night are the same length. It's an important season, or it was an important season, because none of them seem to make any difference nowadays. But if you skip back a couple of 100 years, your ancestors would have found autumn very important. All the hard work they'd put in the spring and the summer had come to fruition. The harvest would be in during autumn, so all the crops would have been gathered. The hunting season would be over because the animals would have moved on to different areas or gone into hibernation. So autumn would have been the time of year to take stock. But not just of the crops and meats that they had gathered through the spring and the summer, but also to take stock of what they'd done, what had worked, and what hadn't worked during the previous seasons. So a time to look back, and also a time to prepare for the winter. So the middle month, when the days and the nights are the same, it was a time to look back and a time to look forward. To take stock of everything they had and everything they'd achieved, and a time to prepare for what was coming. Now today, we don't really need to do any of that. The fact that the nights are drawing in and the days are shorter really makes no difference to us. Whereas it would have to them. Their working day would have been shorter. But not for us. We've got electric light and we can work as many hours as we need. You can phone Domino's for your pizza on the Tuesday evening. Pick up your shopping from Sainsbury's on the way home. Strawberries still on the shelf in winter. The seasons today have got very little meaning to us. We're no longer tied to the land. We no longer need to adhere to the rules that our ancestors would have had to adhere to. And it throws everything a little bit out of kilter. Because things have moved on so fast that I don't think we're actually ready for that. And I know a lot of people look at everything as progress and therefore it must be good, but not all progress is good. Autumn is a time to slow down. It is a time to take stock. to look back at what you've done so far and to prepare for what's coming. To do those jobs you didn't get done during the summer, and there's probably quite a few. Although this year's been a bit weird. We were locked up for most of spring and early summer. So a lot of those jobs did get done. All the decorating, all the gardens. I don't think there's an undecorated room in Great Britain at the moment. But this is the time of year where we should look back. And as much as it's been a tough year, and autumn's a time when a lot of people start to suffer from depression. I talked about depression and sort of mental health issues in my last video, and it becomes more pronounced this time of year. And I'm fairly sure it's because we're not in tune anymore. This is a time for slowing down, for reflection. So take the time. Take the time to look back. It was a strange year. Well, it's been a strange year so far. But there's been good things in there. The time you spent with your family. Not killing each other, which was a good thing. But really, the time you spent with your family, the work you did get done, all those jobs you'd put off for years and years, but now you got round to doing. These are all achievements. And it's time to prepare. It's time to prepare for what's coming. Your ancestors would have been preparing for a harsh, cold winter. It's what made us the people we are today, was the climate. It's why we learnt how to farm. It's why we learnt how to corral and pen animals so that they didn't wander off and hibernate, so they didn't move on to warmer areas. It's why we learnt to do all of those things. It's why we learnt to salt meat and prepare vegetables that would keep all the way through those months, through the winter. So we had something to eat. When things weren't growing, we could still survive. And we learnt all that. And we need to prepare now. We need to prepare for what may be coming still. So take the time to look back on what you've achieved and prepare for what might be coming in the future. And at this time of year when the nights are drawing in, it's dark in the morning when you get up. It's dark in the evening when you come home. You tend not to see the daylight because you'll be at work, in an office, in a room, anywhere. It doesn't really matter, does it? For those of you still working at home, you're sat in your front room, lights on, in front of your screen. So the daylight's not really going to help. And it's such a beautiful season. The air smells different. The time's different. The trees are changing. Living in the woods, trust me, it's an interesting time of year. Time to get those little jobs done that you need to get done. The ones we didn't have time for. This morning I Put two new gates on the entrance to the woods. Bought a new generator. The old one's a petrol Jenny. The new one's an LPG, which is meant to be much more economical. We'll see. So I've been fiddling around with those things during the day. Preparation for the winter. I got the ladder out, cleaned all the gutters. Because of the falling leaves, they'll get clogged up. And for me, the water's important because that's what fills the tanks and that's what gets filtered and comes into the cabin. So preparation. Make a list. Make a list of things you want to get done. Look back at the things you have done. Make a list of the things you haven't done yet. And don't get depressed. It's a good time of year. Time to slow down a little bit. To relax like these 6 that you can hear in the background. Anyway, for anyone out there who is feeling a bit down, keep your pecker up. We're British. Speak to you soon, people.